What's going on, guys? My name is Ben and welcome back to another video. This is actually my first ever Q&A that I have filmed on the channel. The other day I put on my Instagram one of those little question-y things on my stories and asked you guys to get involved with this video. You guys asked many questions and I'm very grateful for that. So I thought I would just go through some of the questions that I have selected in today's video. Now this is going to be a slightly different Q&A rather than just sit here and answer questions. Some questions are a little bit of a kind of I would say, practical demonstration. So for those questions, I will be doing that. So make sure you stay tuned for those. Right then. So we are going to start the video with classic_mini_Cooper, who has actually asked 4 questions. So we'll start with him. He's asked, what are you doing about phone connectivity? So this car is a 2005 and unfortunately the stereo doesn't have an aux, nor does it have Bluetooth. So I have bought one of these little FM transmitters, which simply plugs into my headphone jack. You turn it on, it's battery powered. You know, you match the frequency on your radio, and you can play music through the radio, essentially. It's actually a lot better than I was expecting. You can have it really loud, and there's no kind of distortion or crackling or anything. And if you're interested in getting one of these, it was £18 from Halfords. So that's what I'm doing. He's also asked, have you thought about an upgrade? I'm looking at CarPlay options, as in the head unit. I have thought about it. I would like a nice double-din touchscreen, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and a reverse camera and all that on here. However, I don't think that's something I'm going to be doing. This car literally just gets used on the weekends, so I don't really want to spend like 300-400 quid on a setup like that for a car that doesn't really get used. I'd say like this works perfectly fine, so all I really want to do is play music. If I want, I can just mount my phone up here if I'm using maps, so it doesn't really bother me too much. So no, for time being anyway. He's asked, do you have a burning rubber smell from the air outlet vent after a drive, spirited or normal? So I'm assuming he means the air vent on the side, and I can't say I do. So I think yours might be broken. However, when I did give my friend Joel the keys to this car, and he gave it a incredibly spirited drive, it did smell warm and a bit off. But apart from that, no. So that's fine. Final question, Sport Plus mode, has it tried to kill you yet? This car isn't equipped with Sport Plus, unfortunately. My understanding with Porsche kind of spec lists is that when you're buying a car from them, they have many options that you have to tick. This car doesn't have it. Normally they're down here, you have like an adaptive dampener button and Sport or Sport Plus or whatever it is down here. My car doesn't have that, so hasn't tried to kill me yet, and I haven't driven this car with the traction control off yet either, because I'm not brave enough. Still getting used to the car, so no. RDT_photography, so my friend Ryan has asked, what's the best hot hatch? Now I'm thinking he's hoping I say his Abarth 595. Unfortunately not. I would have to go with the Mercedes A35 AMG. My friend Eric has one. It's a brilliant car. The interior is fantastic, and I don't think any competitor comes close to that car at all. It's incredibly fast, so I would say that is the best hot hatch, hands down, at the moment. K-Sides89 has asked, what mileage did you pick this up at, and what do you think maintenance is going to cost? Now, I actually think someone's asked about maintenance lower down, so I'm going to answer the mileage one. I bought this car and it had just rolled over to 89,000 miles. It is now done 90,460, so I've done around 1,400 miles. It'll be 1,500 miles when I go out later. So 1,500 miles in this car so far. Yeah, and it runs fine. My friend Will has asked, does the Boxster do donuts? Now, there's only one way to find out. So moving on to the next question, at BT Mac 63 has asked, what's the reliability of the 987? Now, of course, everyone knows and everyone's been saying it to me that the Boxster suffers from a IMS bearing issue. Now, I feel this issue has been massively blown out of proportion by the internet. The issue actually only affected 8% of all Boxsters. So it's so tiny that the chances of it affecting this one is, I hope anyway, very slim. So apart from that, I'm hoping everything else is fine. I've had no issues at all in my 1400 miles of driving, touch wood. So that's all I can say. Hampshire Photography, you're right Luke, has asked, straight piping the Porsche. Now, I'm getting a lot of abuse for this, mainly off my friend Joel, who has of course straight piped his Z4, which does sound incredible, don't get me wrong. He's trying to convince me to do this, but I've been speaking to a couple of garages and exhaust shops who reckon it will sound quite crap. But I'm really torn. Some days I wake up and I'm like, hell yes, let's do it. Don't think, react. Get it done. You'll love it. And then other days I'm kind of pooing myself and thinking, no, don't do it. You'll ruin the car. So I've been looking into other exhaust options. I believe you can get a kind of a back box modification, which is called a Carnwall. I think that's how you say it. So a guy in Belgium takes a stock Boxster exhaust, but essentially cuts it up, takes some of the baffling out, sends you one, you take yours off, post it, send it back to him. That sounds like a lot of effort. So if I can get the back box off, I may attack it with an angle grinder and see what I can do myself. So yeah, and maybe if this video gets 100 likes, I'll straight pipe the Boxster. Fellows_Will has asked, how practical is the Boxster as a daily? Now, I'd say this is actually a very practical car. Of course, being mid-engine, you have a front boot or a frunk and a rear boot. And if I'm not mistaken, this car has about 270 litres of luggage space. So when I occasionally drive this car to my day job, I can actually get all my camera gear and my laptops in the front boot alone, but I do have the added benefit of the rear one if I do run out of space. So very practical, I'd say, unless you know more than one other person, because I've got no other seats. Luckily I don't. My friend Josh at Scoot Supercars has asked, any special events or trips you got coming up? Events, not really. I think kind of coming into the winter season, a lot of the car culture kind of shuts down. The only thing I really go to at the minute is Cafe and Machine, which I might as well live there because I'm just addicted really. And any trips coming up. So we are kind of in talks with a road trip next year like we did this year, which was fantastic. I had a lot of fun on that trip. But nothing's been kind of finalised yet. We haven't really decided where we're going. So we do need to plan that if we're going to do it next year. And if we are going to do it next year, I am very excited and I'll be very up for that. So fingers crossed next year. Math_Adams, what's your job? So my day job is I'm a automotive photographer for a car company that's spread out across the Midlands. They have, I believe it's 11 sites. So I take all their used car photography, I upload it to the website. I'm also a videographer for that company, so any kind of any promotional videos or kind of deals, customer videos or anything they want filming, editing, distributing onto their social media platforms, I also do that. So yeah, I enjoy it. I've got a company car, like I said, I do a lot of driving to and from different sites. So I'm on the road quite a lot and yeah, I enjoy that. Leonard Motorsport has asked, you're given a budget of 25k to spend on 2 cars. Anything you don't spend gets taken back. What would you buy and how would you modify? That is actually quite interesting. I think the first car I'd buy is a Toyota GT86. I think I would go full out on that car, full TJ Hunt. Bags, just a stupid big spoiler, wide body kit, roll cage, the works. Just make it so different to what I would normally do. Like really heavy, oh my God, really heavily modify that car. There we go. I think that would be brilliant. Second car, I imagine I wouldn't have a lot of money left over from that because he's also put whatever you don't spend gets taken back. So I've got a full budget of 25 grand here. I think the GT86 would take a lot of the money. So the second car, perhaps a Mini Cooper S. I know I had one, but I would like to have modified that car. Roll cage in the back, bucket seats, harnesses. I think that would do for that car. I think that would be pretty fun. Next up, KCPR. What cars have you owned and what did you do to them? Right, okay. Trip down memory lane. My first car was a 1.1 litre Peugeot 206. It was a kind of light blue colour and standard it had steel wheels. First thing I done was I put Peugeot 307 alloys on it with red calipers. Then I wrapped the roof in matte carbon, as did I wrap most of the interior trim in matte carbon as well. I put a gloss black GTI spoiler on it. What else did I do to it? Oh, LED lights, blue LED lights in the footwell with a light switch on the roof for them, an air filter, a little cheap Halford's exhaust tip, because it was literally just a thin pipe that faced the floor. Angle grinded that off, put that tip on, jobs are good. So that was my first car. You kind of have to do that really on your first car, don't you? Second car was a 2 litre Hyundai Coupe, which was actually the most reliable car I've owned. I didn't do a lot to that car because it was already quite nice. It was dark blue with kind of gunmetal grey alloys. I put a Pioneer doubled-in head unit stereo in with a reverse camera, and I wrapped the roof gloss black. That was pretty much it for that car. I didn't think it needed anything. All the windows were already tinted, so they were very, very nice. And in the 2 years I owned that car, it only cost me £23, which was for a new radiator pipe. Then the car I had after that was, of course, my E85 2 litre Z4. That car was silver with silver wheels, and that was the most problematic car I have ever owned. That car had, you think what can go wrong with a car? Everything on that car went wrong. That car was always in the garage. The warranty company wouldn't cover anything, so nothing was covered under warranty. The warranty wasn't worth the paper it was written on. The fact, this is how bad it was. The day I picked it up from the dealer, that day it broke down. It then went back, they fixed it, came back, broke down, took it back, fixed it, come back, broken, more issues, ABS, shocks, alarm going off, seized calipers, oil leak, new clutch. That isn't even all of it. So I don't want to go into that too much. That was so bad that after 8 months of the car continuously breaking, I said to the dealer, like, look, you need to give me some money or it's going to go to court. And I did get a bit of a payout for that. So I was able to fix the car. And when it was all running fine, it was a good car. I then, of course, wrapped it in Hexis Gloss Olympic Blue with gunmetal grey alloy wheels, yellow calipers and the yellow bars behind the grille. I had a custom-made catback exhaust made by EMP Performance, so it sounded a little bit better. The front reg, of course, fell off, and I had a gloss black Maxton design rear spoiler, which looked quite good. I then, of course, replaced that with another Z4, the E89 35 IS. That car, all I really done was blacked everything out. All the windows were tinted. The lights all had a very light tint on them. The mirror caps and the kidney grills were originally like a kind of silver colour, as were the roll hoops behind the seats. So I had all of those painted black, and I put a front splitter on it. Number plate, of course, fell off. Disconnected the valve in the exhaust, so it was always open, just a little bit louder. And then, of course, when I'd done the road trip, I had it wrapped by Ready Wraps in the kind of matte Riviera blue with all the sponsorship stickers on, which was a lot of fun. I've wanted to do that for ages. In fact, when I had my Hyundai Coupe, I made a load of, so embarrassing, Gumball 3000 stickers, stuck them on the car, and then drove to London for the Gumball event, which I almost got onto the grid for that, which was quite hilarious. When I sold the 35 IS, the Z4, I took in a Mini Cooper S as a kind of a Part X deal. Drove that around for a month. That's a very, very fun car, but I always knew I was going to sell it. And then at the same time, I had the Project Fiesta ST rebuild. So I managed to rebuild that, and you can check out the videos on the channel. Sold that, thankfully, in the end. Jesus. That was a lot of fun, though. I learned a lot of stuff on that car, and I had so much fun doing it. I've wanted to rebuild a car for years, so love that. And then I also bought another white Fiesta. This one was a Zetec S diesel. Bought that. and that was to sell as well, so I sold that. They're all gone, and now I have the Boxster S. And that's it. So Keen Bean asking a total of 8 questions. Rebecca Ann has asked, first question, which I don't think is that serious. Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts, which it has to be Krispy Kreme. Then second one, what do you plan on doing to the Boxster? So I have actually already lowered the car. It's on 35mm H&R lowering springs, which I had installed about 5 days ago. So the car sits a lot better now. It was way too high from standard, from factory. Next thing I'd like is, I think 15mm spaces at the back, 7s at the front, just to give it a bit of a wider stance, because there are a little bit too far into the arch, but for now it's fine. I'm not sure if I need to tint the headlights and the tail lights. I'm not sure how that would look on this car, but definitely need to tint the windows, because I feel like I'm in a goldfish bowl at the minute. The side reflector and the front fog lights, which I also don't like. At some point, if I can find some cheap enough, you can get an aftermarket fog light upgrade, which is essentially you take the fog light out, direct replacement is an LED daytime running light, which makes the front end look so much more modern. So I want a set of those. And also the grills underneath the fog lights. They need to be wrapped black, and then I want some black mesh there as well. That will also stop leaves and rocks getting in there and damaging my my radiators. Exhaust, that needs to happen at some point. I can't think of anything else. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's what I hope to do anyway. What is one thing you dislike about your Boxster? It's quite hard. Off the top of my head, the stereo, I suppose, not having aux and Bluetooth is very annoying. And maybe the rear parking sensors, but I'll make a video on that at some point anyway. Why did you get a Boxster? So I've fancied a Boxster for a while, but I was always put off by the running costs and the fact it's mid-engined. But I thought, screw it. As someone rightly pointed out to me, you've had 2 Z4s, don't get another one. That was my original plan, was to get a 3-litre E85 for about £3,000 and then just wrap it, lower it, and put different wheels on it. Kind of like I did with my first E85, but been there, done that. So fancied a change, went for a Boxster, and I'm so glad I did. Would you ever get another Z4? Probably not, if I'm honest. If I would get another Z4, it'd have to be a 35IS again, and then I'd do what my friend Ollie did, which would be like decat it, different exhaust, lower it, map it to 400 brake, so it's an absolute animal. But no, I'm quite enjoying the Porsche, so probably not. Do you regret selling your Z4? So my 35IS was a very good car. It was incredibly fast. It was faster than this in a straight line, and it had way more tech in that. But as a driver's car, going around corners, that car was very heavy. Whereas this, even though it's got less power, is more fun, because the way it handles around corners, it's like it's on rails. And now that I've lowered it as well, there's just 0 roll. It's unbelievably good. So no, not really. I like this too much. She's also asked, if money wasn't an option, what car would you buy instantly? So if I say I won the lottery tomorrow, first car I would go out and buy would be an Aventador SVJ. Ever since the Aventador first came out, I've been a huge fan of that Aventador, and what they've done with that platform, with the SV, the SVJ, the 50th anniversaries, that to me is my dream car. So that would be the very first thing I'd do, and I think the SVJ is the best looking one of them all. Final question. How many people can you fit in your Porsche? Right, there is only one place I can think to do this challenge, and it is of course at Cabinet Machine, essentially my second home because I am always here. First 2 volunteers, my friend Becca and Simon, are gonna attempt to get in my car. We're gonna see how many people we can get in. You think we're gonna get in 7, and you think
say 8.
He's quite optimistic, so I think you 2 can go in the front. Yeah. Shall we say? There we go. Right, in you get.
In you go first.
And then we need to.
No, we can just sit on that bit.
Yeah, there we go.
In you go.
So that's 2 people.
Can we get a third, please?
Yeah, someone else.
Do you think we get a third?
100%.
Yeah, we can get a third.
100%.
Oh, brilliant. Right, so it's time to recruit some more people. Do you guys want to See how many people can get in my car?
Little chaps.
Climb on in. So far, we have around 6 people, which is already, I think that was Becca's prediction. We can get some more. Do you want to try? Yeah. Let's see. Go on. It's 3 people in the front. That's that's way more than I thought we could.
Man, you might as well just get
7 people.
I'm in the front.
I'll shuffle over.
Go on, I can be involved as well.
Is this going to take it?
8 people. We need more. How much more space we got? We need like 2, 3 more people. We're trying to see how many people we can fit in my car. Would you like to have a gander? We've got a bit of space in the cabin if everyone can try and.
I'll put my feet down there. Yeah?
There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people so far. We got any more space, or is that pretty much it? Shall I close the door?
Get somebody in the footwell. But, yeah.
So we've got everyone in the car. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and including me, because there is space for a little one, 9 people in a Porsche Boxster. So that answers that very logical and kind of practical question of how many people can you fit in a Porsche Boxster. The answer's 9. There we have it then, guys. Turns out you can fit 9 people inside a Porsche Boxster S, which exceeded all of our predictions prior to this video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my future upcoming content with this car. Thanks for watching.